Welcome back to the Spin Cycle Podcast, everybody. I'm Kaylee Fretz. Today on the show, Archaea and maybe Jayco are in a little bit of trouble. Tom Pidcock is going for GC again, and Patrick Lefevere is angrily posting photos of his sandwiches. Let's get to it. Welcome back to Spin Cycle, Johnny Long.
Hello, I'm reclined again after a couple of days at the beach.
More or less reclined than...
I would say more because I've positioned the cushions to make it even more comfortable than Monday.
And Dane Cash, welcome to the show.
Hey, Kaylee.
Not reclined.
Not reclined. I did recently go to a beach in air quotes. It was like a reservoir. The water was pretty low.
We can't be calling
hard to come
reservoirs beaches.
Yeah.
That's kind of like when we have like a sandbar in the river near here that we call the beach with the kids.
Yeah.
It's very much
enough.
not.
Yeah.
It's very much not a beach.
I mean, you and I are from coastal places, so I feel like we'll do what we can to get. Yeah.
Yeah, although I'm not a big ocean guy.
Oh,
You know?
all right. I see you like getting lobsters out of the ocean like once a year.
Yeah, I'm a
and
big
like,
lobstering guy, not
Okay.
a big like ocean guy. It's cool. So good start to the pod. Let's get to the bike racing now. We've got plenty to talk about. Let's kick off with this little story that just sort of popped up in Wheelerflitz. Our good friends Wheelerflitz, the Wheelerflitz boys, are always digging up all the juice. And this is one of those stories that may or may not be a big deal, right? Like sometimes stuff comes out around this time of year where, you know, it's like some sponsors leaving or a bunch of riders are leaving, which is about what we're about to talk about. And it ends up being nothing because it's August and they've got some time to figure it out. But it is August. They actually don't have that much time to figure it out. Johnny, what's the Jayco story here?
Yeah, as you said, over at Jayco-AlUla, plenty of riders seemingly fishing around for contracts for next year. And then also the team potentially fishing around to replace that sweet AlUla Saudi money. Because according to Wheelerflitz, Jayco's contract with AlUla is up at the end of the year. It might be a case of getting it re-signed. Perhaps, you know, the bigwigs in the team haven't had the chance to fly over to the kingdom in order to sign the papers on the dotted line and do the deed. But then that seems to suggest the reason for why, as reported by Wheelerflitz, when they were at the Tour de France chatting with some agents were pointing over to the Jayco-AlUla bus being like, half of those guys are leaving the team next year, which is a substantial number of riders to be leaving the team. Sure, I think the was definitely in a place where it could do with some renewal. It could do with getting some new talent in, a bit of, you know, zhuzhing up. But if we're going to see a new sponsor and half a squad of new riders, that's significant. Crucially, I don't think it includes Ben O'Connor or Michael Matthews. I think Dan Benson reported that Michael Matthews is close to an extension. But yeah,
Ben O'Connor just came
interesting.
over, so he's got a couple years left.
Yeah.
They also just signed that Italian national champion who was not on a professional team previously, Filippo Conca. They just pulled him into the fold, so we get to see the Italian tricolore in at least the very end of this season, which is nice. I mean, that team has been not only sort of from the outside, but also according to our reporting and some of the reporting done by friend of the pod, occasional freelancer for us, Chris Marshall Bell. It's been a bit chaotic internally over there. Is that safe to say? Like there's just, I mean, obviously there's the whole Matt White incident. It's sort of like there's stuff bubbling. There's stuff bubbling at Jayco, and I think that some of this, like the story in Wheelerflitz, is maybe off the back of that. We know our Belgian boys love to write a story where they sort of like hint at things that they probably know more about, but they aren't going to write. Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Matt White thing is still the huge sort of what went on there. question of the season. We still haven't had the full picture there. Hopefully we do soon. But yeah, as you say, the Belgian boys are hinting. It's actually a fairly scintillating line in the story where it reads, "Rumours are circulating within the peloton that team manager Brent Copeland is struggling to lead the Jayco-AlUla team." So don't know what that means. I mean, it's auto-translate. Maybe it's a more deft way of writing it in the native language. But definitely there's stuff going on over there, and we should probably do a little bit of digging to try and find out what.
I have a minor note here. I just want to make sure that the Dutch listeners don't write in because Wielerflitz is Dutch.
They have Dutch and Belgian websites.
This author, appears to be Dutch.
Is he? Let me check which one it is. Oh yeah, Yuri. Yuri's.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I think Yuri could be Belgian. Actually, from my dealings with him, if I had to guess.
We should confirm. All right, a Dutch-speaking person. Here, this covers it all. Dutch-speaking friends. Our Dutch-speaking friends over at Wielerflitz.
But would the Belgians say they speak Dutch or Flemish?
I think most of them come around now that they're like, yeah, we speak Flemish, which is Dutch. I think they're We can get back to bike racing. I just didn't want people to write in and tell us.
I mean, they're welcome to write in and tell us.
Yeah,
they can still write in and tell us.
They do it all the time.
I'm gonna go. Oh no, sorry, he's Dutch. I've just found his LinkedIn.
That's journalism right there. You guys have heard it in real time, listeners. Johnny doing some investigations.
Googling. On the pod. So huge apologies for that.
So Brent Copeland struggling to lead the team. Like again, this is an auto translate, but it does, like I said, it jives with I think things that we've heard elsewhere. When we were doing some reporting around the initial Matt White removal, there was plenty of sort of chit chat about those two individuals, Copeland and Matt White, sort of not quite seeing eye to eye, and also there being a bit of a kind of internal power struggle, and in particular the fact that Matt White was so popular with a lot of the riders meant that there were sources who told us, I think we can comfortably say this now. There were sources who told us that Matt White was essentially removed because he was the beloved one by all the riders, basically, and it was making it difficult for Copeland to operate. Two different sources told us that, and so I feel comfortable saying it. Interesting things going on over at Jayco.
This is one of those situations where I think it would be easy to sort of plaster over any cracks if the team were doing well, but the team has really not done well this past stretch. I mean, not they were actually okay in the last 2 years, but like 2025 has been really bad for Jayco. They've been
they got a tour stage.
They got a tour stage. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think they're like somewhere fourth from last as a world tour team, and the other teams down there are all
in
having
terms
really
of points,
bad years.
I'd say the thing about could be worse.
The thing about this team, though, is that it's Jerry Ryan's baby, right? So, like, even if AlUla disappeared, he's not going to let it die. It may be slightly poorer for a while, and I would wager that if we've got all these riders out of contract and we also have AlUla out of contract, those two things are probably related, right? Because if AlUla doesn't come back, or if they fail to sort of find that amount of money again, it gives having all the riders out of contract gives them the sort of freedom to pull back as many as they can afford and let the rest go, or pull back the cheap ones and let the rest go, right? And so, I don't think that, like, particularly our Aussie listeners out there, I don't think they have to worry about this team disappearing.
Yeah,
because fundamentally Jerry can dump as much money into it as he wants to. He has just wanted, as of late, to dump a bit less, and so therefore to find co-sponsor, co-title sponsor. Which if AlUla's not back, then hopefully they can find somebody else. They can find that out. What's the big mirror building? Gnome.
Oh, the line. No,
line.
Yeah, Neom.
Neom.
Jayco Neom.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because surely everyone who was going to visit AlUla, the UNESCO World Heritage Site trapped within the repressive Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, has already gone.
Yeah.
If you were planning on it, maybe that's just how these things work. You sell enough Soudals, you sell enough pots of Milram yogurt, and then you wander off into the distance, never to be seen again.
The effectiveness of professional cycling sponsorship is so great that you really only need a couple years.
You complete business, yeah.
And you're set. You're set for life.
The situation could be worse for Jayco-AlUla because they could be Archaea B&B hotels.
Yes. An
Where-
excellent sachet there, by the way.
That was good.
Merci. Because as we've talked about previously, that both of those sponsors are pulling out at the end of the year. And what that means is you've got a bunch of riders who've been told that they can go and look for other teams, other contracts. But the problem is, especially a team like Archaea B&B Hotels, no offense, don't have a whole roster full of riders that other teams are wanting to come and scoop up, with a moment's notice.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean that Emmanuel Hubert, who we got to meet in the Netflix series, isn't trying his darndest to get new sponsors into his team, but unfortunately we're seeing that sort of time-worn tradition of him having to tell his squad, tell his employees, I'll have news for you after the tour. I'll have news for you after the Tour de France Femme. Maybe late August there'll be news, because of he'll be getting told similar from potential meetings and potential sponsors are like, actually we need a bit more time to think, or need to check this, need a few meetings there. So it's not looking great for that French team, which is sad.
The one rider on the team that people would want, either if you're a sponsor and you want to potentially go with this team, or a different team you want to sign him, is already supposedly going somewhere in particular. That's Kevin Vauquelin.
Yeah.
All the reports suggest he's going to Ineos. So the team kind of doesn't have any other hot commodities.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a problem.
Arnaud Demar erasure, Dane.
Sorry, Arnaud. I mean, I like Arnaud Demar. I loved this team's Arthurian, marketing push was it last year, 2 years
Yeah.
ago?
That didn't seem to have worked.
But it really doesn't. And then so if you're a sponsor, I feel like it's kind of a hard sell. Like, come pay for this team that is kind of the worst team in the World Tour.
Kind of. Well, and earlier in the week, slight tangent, there was the announcement that sweet Kevin Vermark had signed for UAE Team Emirates.
Yeah.
My brain read that at the start as Kevin Vauquelin, and I was like, I went full Arsenal fan TV of they can't keep getting away with this, where they just scoop up all of these talents, and I was stewing about it for a while, and then my dad came into the room. I was like, "Have you seen what's happened? Seen Kevin Vermark has gone to UAE, not Ineos," and he was just there puzzling at me, being like, "What are you talking about?
Why would I care about this?
why would I give a tiny rat's ass about this?" But so it turns out that Kevin Vauquelin has not gone to UAE Team Emirates. Breaking news.
No.
But yes, I hope we say that Kevin Vauquelin's going to Ineos Grenadiers. We heard recently, did we talk about this in the podcast? We did actually, I think in After Dark, where Dave Brailsford is apparently back in charge of transfers at Ineos. So who knows if he likes the cut of Kevin's jib? I mean, I would.
That's true.
How could you not? I mean, he
well,
seems like
who knows? This is Davey's world now.
That's true. Yeah.
So Vauquelin to Ineos, I think I'm going to put it at 75% still happening, but with Dave back involved, who knows? We should sweet Kevin, not spicy Kevin, Kevin Vauquelin.
Oh yeah,
sweet
sorry,
Kevin,
yeah.
Sweet Kevin Vermark. We like Sweet Kevin. Sweet Kevin is a friend of the podcast, and him getting his bag at UAE. Congratulations! I think that's all we can say to Sweet Kevin.
Yeah.
It's an interesting move to me because I don't necessarily. Maybe they just wanted an American. I don't necessarily see the need on UAE's side. Like Kevin Vermark's a great bike racer, right? He is a super consistent rider. I think he won like U23 or Junior Liège. Like he's got some real talent, but UAE is full of those guys, and I don't really understand why they would need one more. But yeah, maybe I mean the American market is a real thing, right? Like it that's been helping American bike riders get rides for forever, and so I wonder if that's part of it.
He's still relatively young at 24. I mean, in the world of 2025 cycling, maybe that doesn't seem young, but most of us would have said that was young recently enough. And I think the fact that he has done pretty well. I mean, he's like fourth at San Sebastian, and like you said, he was Liège under 23. There is, I think, part of it could be he could continue to improve aspect, where they see him as a project that can keep getting better, and they have a history of doing really well with former Action Hagensperman or Hagensperman Action, whatever permutation
Yeah.
of the name you want.
Yeah.
Like Almeida came from that team, I think, and so
Maybe
UAE's got a track
he
record.
Maybe Brandon McNulty needed a friend. We should consider
Yeah.
that possibility.
Yeah.
I would also like to know how many riders have gone from picnic personnel to UAE Team Emirates. Can you name any?
Ooh,
Was
it doesn't sound like a lot.
I
was
I
Ma-
have the
Mark
internet,
Hershey
so I
went?
can-
Did he go? Mark Hershey didn't go to UAE, did he? He went straight to Tudor.
Yep.
No,
Did he go somewhere in
He
between?
went- he went-
No.
he was.
you got it. That's
Was
it.
he UAE?
That's the one. Yeah,
Yeah,
he went
yeah.
from the then DSM team. Yeah. To
Ah,
UAE.
that seems like a weird fever dream. Mark Hershey being at UAE.
Yeah, he had
know
a
what I
bit of a.
He had a
His
bad time.
career kind of went like this after he. For the
Yeah.
listeners, I'm putting my arm in a downward fashion right
I don't think I could put my arm that far downwards. Actually, I'd say that's maybe a bit harsh on the Hershinator,
now. Ooh,
but
sorry, yeah.
here we are.
Well, Picnic had that crazy tour, which Hershey was
yeah,
part
they did.
of.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then it's
that's true.
just sort of never quite been able to. I'm just looking through old. Yeah. Nobody else. Nobody
No.
else. Yeah.
Well, tell us if
Well,
we missed anyone out.
Well,
I'm sure we did.
Brandon McNulty. Have you guys? Did you mention at least? And I'll just say this again. I think you probably did, but I mean, World Tour stage race winner Brandon
In
McNulty,
Poland,
by the
yeah.
way. So
Big
now
time.
he's maybe commanding that extra respect. Now that he's gone out and won this huge
He's saying,
race.
"Sign me, Kevin. Sign me, sweet
I
Kevin
need-
now.
I need that. Yeah.
I need a sweet Kevin."
I think. I mean, it's a great move for Sweet Kevin. It
Oh,
genuinely
sweet
is.
Kevin must be absolutely over the moon about it. And
Yeah.
instead of going through binders of rules and regulations he has to apply to,
Yeah.
now he just has to go and pay homage to his golf paymasters every January.
That's
What a
not
deal!
hard.
What a
Yeah.
trade deal!
He can, have all
Unreal.
he can have all the Kiwis he wants. He is ready
Yeah.
to go.
He's got pistachio chocolate coming out the wazoo. He's living the dream.
Good for him. Good for him. Let's real quick pivot over to Vuelta. We got a couple of Vuelta things. When does the Vuelta start, Dane?
The Vuelta starts on August 23rd, so that would be Saturday. Saturday
Like 10
next.
days from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday week.
9 days from now.
Wow.
8 days from now. 8 days from now. By the time people listen to this, so it's coming. It's coming soon, and we have a Visma Vuelta team. Anything of note there?
They haven't officially announced this, by the way, so
Okay.
I don't know, this could change, but it's all. It seems
Oh, it's
like
not officially official.
It's not officially official.
This is
I
from the
think it's
Belgian
again. I
duchies.
think it's Wheeler Flitz again.
Those boys,
knowing
they
everything.
don't sleep, do they?
They
They're
don't, no.
constantly.
Also, even if it's not
tip-tapping
official,
away.
like surely this is exactly what it's going to be because they know stuff.
They know.
Yep.
They know everything. Well, speaking of brave American boys, we've got at least a couple. No, exactly a couple heading to the Vuelta with Jonas Vingegaard. We've got Sepkus and Matteo Jorgensen, fresh from the Tour de France. Also coming across from Tour de France is Victor Campenaerts. So what that means is we will get Campenaerts and Jorgensen vlogs from the Vuelta, hopefully, which will be great. And then we have Dylan van Baarle in his last Grand Tour for Visma before he heads over to Soudal Quickstep. And
I
then
appreciate.
Oh,
I appreciate
go on.
that Visma hasn't been vindictive about this one, right? To
Yeah.
let him race the Vuelta instead of sending him to Guangxi.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe he'll still get sent to Guangxi.
He
might
could
do.
have both. Yeah.
and then quickly rounding out the lineup is Wilco Kelderman, who's still going, and I think he might have even agreed to do another year. That might not be. Maybe that was only a rumor thing I read, but big if true. And then Ben Tullett, the brave British boy, and Axel Zingel. So a good team, probably good enough to help Jonas Vingegaard win it. Haven't had the UAE team yet, but that'll be coming next week, I presume.
Axel Zingel is a deeply un-French name.
Yeah,
Yes.
How do we end
kinda-
up with a French Axel Zingel?
could be a
We
Bel-
should
could
ask
he be a
him.
Belgian guy? You know,
We should ask him. We should ask him. No, he's not Belgian.
The-
He's French.
no, I meant like, could he be a person of Belgian descent? His parents are Belgian.
Yeah.
In the same way that we have a number of riders, actually Americans, who have, kind of uncommon.
Kevin
Sepp.
Vermaak.
We have a Sepp. We have a Matteo
That's true.
Jorgensen. These
Yeah.
aren't exactly John Jones characters.
That's true.
I'd love a John Jones in the peloton. Imagine.
We've got speaking of brave American boys, Matthew Riccatello is on for Israel. I had just noticed that.
It's gonna be a very American Vuelta.
It could be quite an American Vuelta. He has done a Giro and a Vuelta previously, but just
Is it
more,
too much?
more Americans at the Vuelta.
Is it too much to ask that Jonas Vingegaard goes in as Visma's leader, but then Matteo Jorgensen gets into a breakaway, and then all of a sudden he's in the lead? Because that would be kind of nice to happen again.
I mean, it'd be great for our traffic. Like, we really need another. We need another
Yeah,
one.
we
of
need
those.
At least it won't be a Roglic Vuelta.
That's true. Yeah.
That is true.
Other Vuelta news. Tom Pidcock has said that he is riding for GC at the Vuelta.
Yes.
I think he said a top 10 would be good.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Cool.
yeah, love it.
Yeah.
I will back Tom Pidcock GC dreams until the day I die. You got to dream. You got to dream big. You got to.
Yeah.
You gotta give yourself something to aim for, no matter if you can't get it.
He's
and
just coming off a podium ride at the Arctic race.
Yeah,
where-
I mean the Giro the problem is he keeps on getting caught in between, right? He's like, maybe I want to be a GC rider, but also maybe I want to have fun and actually race my bike. Where we saw at Giro where he finished 16th overall and also was narrowly missed the stage win, so came away with nothing. But he said he gave an interview to The Telegraph where he announced his intentions for the Vuelta, and he was saying, I'm 26 now. I'm hoping this is a new era of my career. And he was like, I looked up the result sheets of Mathieu van der Poel and Wout van Aert and saw what they accomplished after they're 26, and was like, well, I can keep on doing stuff. So he basically woke up one day, Tom Pidcock, and was like, wow, I'm 26, I'm old now, which is a scary thought. But yeah, I mean, look, if we're talking about Matteo Jorgensen as a Vuelta winner when he's got and finished 8th overall at the 2024 Tour de France, I would say that's no better than Tom Pidcock finishing around 10th at various Grand Tours.
I think he could definitely go top 10 at the Vuelta.
Yeah, I think so too.
They're much to me, Jorgensen and Tom Pidcock. What's to separate them apart from Tom Pidcock's won a bunch of stuff,
Well, I think Matteo Jorgensen has won a bunch of stuff on the road. Pidcock's won 2 bike races on the road, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess Jorgensen won Paris-Nice.
Won Paris-Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of a big one.
People
Yeah,
just
that's a race.
just suffer through that and get through it. But yeah,
Let's. We got plenty of Vuelta. We're gonna preview the Vuelta next week. I think probably when Dane is on. Well, it'd be funny to preview the Vuelta when Dane's not on. That would be.
I mean,
kind of a fun
hey,
thing to do.
I would love that. I would love you guys getting so into the Vuelta that you
No.
can talk to everyone about what's happening at the Vuelta without needing me here.
It would just be an incredibly short Vuelta preview.
Yeah, probably.
Jonas Vingegaard is going to win the Vuelta, and it goes around Spain. And there you go. And
Italy,
congratulations,
too.
We have a little bit of Italy. Yeah.
I'm not on
Yep.
the pod on Monday because I'm off. When I return on Thursday, shall I bring my own Vuelta preview? And we can run a Dane Vuelta preview and then do my Vuelta preview afterwards.
A disclaimer to
sounds fun.
warn people for whatever it is you've got planned.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Luke Rowe swore on an audiobook. Welcome back, everybody. All right. So Luke Rowe's got a book. The book is called Road Captain. And as you do, because he's a road captain, and that was his job.
Yeah.
He was, and as you do when you write a book, you then read the book, and people can listen to it. People who don't like reading, but want to just wander around and hear books in their ears, they can listen to the book. And so, Luke Rowe. I just want everybody to picture this, right? Luke Rowe's in a little, usually a cupboard kind of area
In London somewhere. I
in
reckon.
London somewhere, surrounded by that sort of spiky foam stuff that you use when you are in a professional studio. Unlike us, we don't have any of that. We have none of it, none anywhere. And he's sitting there and he's reading his book, which would take a while, right? You'd have to go do it in multiple trips, and maybe he's getting a little bit frustrated.
I reckon, he's just had a pret-a-manger for lunch. I reckon he's
Yeah.
had a hoisin duck wrap, a flat white, and a little summer fruits berry bowl. He's feeling a bit sleepy. He's like, wait, why is my book yellow? All the cycling books are yellow. Couldn't we have gone for another colour? And the producer's like, no, Luke, it has to be yellow, otherwise it doesn't sell. People don't know it's a book about cycling. He's like, fair enough. And then he continues reading his book.
This is all hypothetical. This is all,
Yeah.
And then what do we hear? Should we just play? Should
Well-
we roll the clip?
Roll the clip. Here we go.
And the team cars were starting to arrive. meaning Yogi received medical attention very quickly. Meanwhile, up at the front, Fromey, fuck's sake.
How good is that?
That is from the actual audiobook.
Yeah.
And we feel we were talking about this before the show. We feel we can talk about this and poke a bit of fun at this because we do this somewhat regularly ourselves.
Well, every
Anybody-
single time. Go on, sorry.
I was to say anybody who makes internet audio in any significant way. I mean, I haven't counted up the number of hours I've made a podcast, but it's in the thousands. It's deep in the thousands at this point. The number of errors that we have all made, the number of times we've said something and the editors they just miss it, right? They're like sitting there editing, and then they take us a moment to sip a nice little bit of coffee and think about it, and in that time,
Yeah.
fucking hell.
I'll say I
Shows up.
listen to a ton of audiobooks.
Yeah.
And like this is actually not that rare. You get some editing
Really?
errors in there. People will I feel like maybe one a book, maybe even two a book. The most frequent one I
Wow.
hear is someone will just reread a sentence. Like they'll say it
Oh.
and then they've said it again because they didn't like the first take and they didn't cut them out, so you just get a
Right.
repeat. Like that happens. I don't know. Like I said, once or twice a book. Once or twice I've gotten a character that I could clearly tell they said the wrong name. Like first of all, these are all either medieval history or it's medieval fiction, right? So it's
No.
always, it's
How do you
Sir,
tell the difference?
it's Sir Joe stabbing Sir John, but like the reader will say it backwards, and I'm like, I know you just said that wrong. It's rare, but I haven't heard an
who
F-bomb
got
yet.
stabbed.
Yeah, I mean, I know because I'm like paying close attention, right?
Right.
But I haven't gotten an F-bomb yet, and I got to. I would love that.
It's just
you know?
deeply on brand for Luke Rowe as well. Also,
Yeah.
that's probably the first and possibly last time you'll hear Luke Rowe on this podcast because he still won't. He's still Johnny's white whale. We're just never gonna get him.
never gonna get him, especially now. The well, yeah. I mean, like every time that Mikey edits our YouTube cuts of this podcast, I don't have the wherewithal to listen through it again.
No.
So I just hit publish and send it into the ether, and we could be saying anything on here.
It is really hard to listen to yourself and edit yourself. Like I feel like
it's a
over the
waste
years
of life.
of
Yeah.
all various shows I've done, I feel like whenever I try to go back to listen to if I'm editing my own show, like there's a high risk I'll just like fall asleep right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I'm just like sitting there trying to cut.
You're
and then I
podcasting
wake
yourself
up.
to sleep. But yes, I mean, Luke Rowe. This was as soon as you retire as a pro cyclist, especially if you he was kind of rode the wave of that the British scene and success. He's transitioned into being a sports director. He's done a bit of TV work. You've got to unite the belts and also write or get someone to write you an audiobook.
You gotta do
But
it.
credit to him for recording it himself.
Yeah.
I think that's well done.
Reading
it's
out
just a
loud is
shame.
not easy. Let me tell you,
No.
as somebody with two small children, and I have to read out loud for like hours every evening.
Hours. Maybe Luke Rowe wanted to prove that he could read. It's just it's just a shame that we didn't get to hear about like the various dairy-based products that
Yeah.
head soigneur David Rosman was bringing back for the fellas
Yeah.
at the Tour de France in the Team Sky Hotel. Maybe it is. I haven't listened to the whole book, but I'm guessing that's not in it.
Probably not.
And I wonder if he's had any more musings on his close personal friend Nairo Quintana and how much of a little fucking rat he is, because that is what Luke Rowe said about Nairo Quintana on a podcast about Nairo Quintana's tramadol use.
Yeah.
And yeah, weird that now thinking about being so up in arms about Nairo Quintana's legal but medically not allowed.
Yeah, not doping. You know?
Yeah, weird, super weird. Anyway,
weird.
back to Fromey, the quaint Somerset town, not the four-time
Oh, is this a real place?
friend
There's a real
of David
Frome?
Rosman. Yeah, no, Frome, not Fromey,
From. Got it.
but
Yeah.
Frome. Yeah.
Do you think there's
but
a?
yeah.
Do you think he said it wrong because there's a typo in the book? Like Froome spelled with just one O.
That would be doubly crushing. It could have auto-corrected. You never know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Um,
Very funny. You know,
yeah.
we like I said, we can make fun of it because we do it so regularly. It's actually we are laughing alongside
We have corrections
him.
corners every time.
We literally
Maybe-
every episode.
maybe that we need corrections corners for audiobooks.
Wow, I think
Yeah.
so. I think so. My question is how do you? I guess they could just drop a new file in, right? Like they could fix
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah,
They
I'm
could
sure it's
drop a new
already
file
fixed.
Yeah, because we run into this with podcasts where sometimes something will happen in the upload or like we'll miss something in the edit, and I will try to put a new file in. But the problem is anybody who is like subscribed and it's already auto downloaded, they already have that version, and we can't really force a new one on their phone. And so I don't like anybody who's already downloaded it from Audible or whatever. It's probably there forever, right?
Agreed.
I would think. Let's Patrick Lefevere sandwich. What an incredible thing to have on the run sheet. What is Patrick Lefevere doing with sandwiches these days?
Here we can see it. Here, basically, he uploaded a photo to Instagram of a tinfoil wrapped sandwich, brown granary bread. Can't tell what the filling is, and a copious amount of tinfoil wrapping. Now, what you have to understand about this photo of his sandwiches that Patrick Lefevere posted on Instagram is it has nothing to do with what Patrick Lefevere wants to talk about in the Instagram caption.
Right.
So shall I just try and read it out what he wrote
Yes.
on Instagram? Okay, Patrick Lefevere writes, "What a delusion at TGV," which is the French railway company. "I took 3 TGVs this month. First class, mega problems. One time, no aircon with 40 degrees. Second, due to delay, no connection. Today, 20 minutes in Avignon. 35 minutes due to door problems in Lyon." So Patrick Lefevere is furious with his run-ins with the, French transport
French
system.
high-speed rail.
French high-speed rail. Not in any way soothed by the lovely jingle that is played at these various TGV stations. The SNCF one.
Is it possible? Is it possible that this sandwich was like something served on the train?
No, there's no way that you'd serve it into tinfoil. Is too much of a precious commodity. I think there's no the cost benefit analysis of giving tinfoil sandwiches is not there.
I want to know who. So Patrick Lefevere is he's a wealthy man. As he said there, he's in first class on these trains. They have food. But he's he's decided to bring his own sandwich and to
Packed his lunch.
He made it, packed it ahead of time, wrapped it up in tinfoil. I think it's a deeply responsible thing.
Well, I reckon that this photo, this sandwich was made for him by Soudal Quickstep, the team he was the former boss of, because you often see them all having tinfoil sandwiches. He was given the sandwiches as he was leaving the Tour de France in the morning, and then made his merry way back, because he's obviously not part of the team officially anymore in the same capacity.
Right.
So he's not going to have someone driving him around. So if he wants to have a well-deserved glass of wine as he travels the length of France, you got to do that on a TGV. It's so comfortable. I travelled back from the Tour de France on TGV. I had a lovely time.
Yeah.
It's so sophisticated. My remaining question is, was he so angry that he wanted to just get this message out, how upset he was with TGV? And that's every sort of famous person like his right, is to blast companies that you're not happy with on social media. It's an ugly trait, but it's the person who doesn't do it, they can cast a first stone. I think that the photo of his sandwich had been taken and sent to someone else, and he just had to find any photo he could to put up to get his message across, because Instagram won't just let you post blank.
It was that or his feet again, right? And he decided to go with the sandwich.
He let the dogs rest for a second and said got his sandwiches out.
You know how sometimes like a whole meeting should have been an email?
Sure.
So this should have been a tweet, right?
This should be a tweet.
We
I
didn't
was
need
thinking
the
same
image.
thing.
The image was superfluous to this complaint.
Yeah.
And if
Yes.
Twitter was what it once was, it hadn't been ruined, then
Okay.
he could have just tweeted it out.
I hear you. Counterpoint. We would not be talking about this and indirectly putting TGV on blast if it wasn't for the sandwich photo. So actually, maybe he does know what he's doing. If he just tweeted out complaining about French rail travel, that wouldn't even cross my radar. But it was, but then it was sent in by a reader and listener. So thank you very much for sending that
If you don't follow Patrick Lefevere on Instagram, like you really should, because the images that he selects are deeply random and very funny sometimes. Definitely should do that.
I wrote about it at the end of Cycling Tips, and I didn't realize it was at the end. I think it was after you guys got laid off. And so in the intro, the part of it is like, why am I writing about Patrick Lefevere's feet? It's like, well, it's what Kaylee, Matt, and Dave would have wanted. Very bizarre. Like everyone, like you had like James and I think Ian like writing like nice heartfelt things about like all the future's quite uncertain, and sorry to the audience for all this stuff going on. And I was like, how I'm going to contribute to this? I'm going to write about Patrick Lefevere's feet pics. So I'm glad that we are
in honor of us.
I did what I could.
It is genuinely what I would have wanted, though. It's basically what I was pushing for 6 months, and I think it's safe to say that my demand for more Patrick Lefevere photos and stories about those photos is probably why I got laid off. Yeah,
I agree. So, well, here we are, and luckily Patrick Lefevere is still posting.
Thank goodness.
Which is all we really need.
Other racing things? Is there any other racing things happening? Honestly, let's not force this one. We're in the middle of August. We're in between the Tour de France and the Vuelta. There's stuff going on, but it's really... Dane, do you got anything for me? Anything like particularly exciting here?
Nothing that you guys didn't already touch on. I mean, Luke Laird won a stage at Czech Tour today, so
that's fun.
Another brave American.
God bless
boy.
America.
Yep.
Hamburg's Classics and Renewy Tour coming up, which are World Tour races that people aren't gonna, go that crazy over. But there will be some big names at them. I think Vanderpool's going to Renewy Tour. Mm-hmm. He's a big name. So that we're just kind of waiting for the Vuelta, but there is some racing in between now and then where you will see some big names. So don't tune out entirely.
You know how we were talking about the Titamo boys on Monday's show? They did another thing on social media this week that I thought was quite interesting, where they kind of like broke down the World Tour points thing, or just the UCI points thing, and where it wasn't World Tour points, it was UCI points, and why it mattered, and like why the races in the next week or two were super important for them, and how like a couple positions here or there could make a big difference, because they're essentially fighting for staying inside the top 30, which then allows them to get a wild card in next year, right? Which is what they're going for. They're going for like some sort of Grand Tour wild card next year, which would probably be a Giro or Vuelta wild card next year, right? And I just thought that was a really interesting. We were talking about how they do a really good job with media, and they do a really good job sort of interacting with fans and all the rest. And it was a very simple post, but it was also like it sort of, we talk all the time about the UCI points, and sort of in from like a 10,000 foot view, like, oh, this team's sucking, this team's doing great, Astana's doing its crazy thing. But because it came from a team and it was quite like authentic and and like real, and like we have to do well in these races, these random races you've never heard of in August, or else we maybe can't go to the Vuelta next year. It was quite effective. I don't know if there's anything to be taken from this other than another example of them doing a good job with it. But
I guess my point too. Like, broke down numbers.
My point, broke down all the numbers. They had like I think a director talking about it and stuff. Like the fact that they've gone through and done all of this, it was actually quite interesting. And my point and my connection to the way that we kind of introed this little segment is these races are maybe not catching a ton of headlines, particularly from us, but for some teams and for some riders, they actually are a huge deal, and the sport is designed as such to make them kind of a bigger deal than they would be based purely off of the sort of media exposure you get off the back of it, right? And the Titamo boys, I think it was an Instagram post that I ran across.
Yeah, it
was sort of one of the better illustrations of that for me.
Well, and don't worry if you thought the Teton boys got serious, because they almost immediately followed that up on Instagram with a next post being a video of a tall man who presumably works for their team in some capacity in his swim trunks going down a slide that was too small for him into a swimming pool. So they can do both, which is great.
They can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yes. Yep. I have a suggestion to make, which maybe will be edited out to be off mic. I think we should make the regular C block of the show after dark, so as not to give away all the good stuff for free.
We could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, particularly as we head into the sort of we're not heading into the off season yet. We got a whole Grand Tour yet, but
Yeah.
as we get closer, we could do that.
Just
Let's
keep
do
a
that.
couple of items, under wraps.
I mean, the other option, and now we're getting in. We can leave this in the show. We can have this discussion with our audience as opposed to
Fair
just
enough.
with ourselves. Because the other option we were talking about previously was to make the entire Friday show essentially after dark,
Ooh.
right? Members
Yeah.
only on Fridays. I don't think we're going to do that quite yet, to be honest. But
But you're threatening it, so like if you're
I'm threatening it.
you should sign up now
This
in
is-
case the boss decides.
This is what politicians do. They leak a policy to the press, let them
Yeah.
write about it in
Yeah.
their little newspapers, and then depending on the outcry or the support, they decide to go through with it.
The thing is, most of the responses we get are from members, so they're probably
Right.
totally fine with it.
Yeah, yeah, good
They
point.
So then that's
probably
perfect.
fine with
That's
Yeah.
a feedback loop. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. We're still this podcast is still growing, which is great, and that's part of the reason why we haven't done that yet. Is we're trying to give the free version to the people. Plus, as I've said previously, we may have ads in this pod at some point for the free version. So no ads
Yeah.
for members, but for the free version may have ads. And if we do that, then having an extra free show just makes us actually more money.
If we have to
So-
do ad reads, it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be
we
so
might.
funny.
It's
It's
gonna
going
be
to it's going to be so funny.
Yes. I mean, we already do the ad reads for ourselves, right? Which, if you're listening to the free feed and you are
Yeah.
tired of those, if you're tired of me or Johnny or Dane at the beginning of the show being like, hey, you should sign up again and again and again, you could just sign up and then those would go away. Those don't exist in the member feed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just think about when I'm doing it for BetterHelp and Athletic Greens. It's going to be wicked.
And donkey sanctuaries.
Yeah.
How do we get that sweet, sweet donkey sanctuary money?
I actually have a pal. It's not a donkey sanctuary. It's like a horse charity who maybe can give us a contact, and maybe we just do it for like a token sum, just to have some sort of equine support system.
If we
advert.
start doing ads on the pods, if the first ad we ever do could be a donkey sanctuary, I would be over the moon. I would be absolutely over the. Plus, there's no like running endemic ads, running ads for the bicycle industry, right? That's the sort of the most problematic version
Yeah.
of this, right? But donkey sanctuaries, we can be bought and sold by the donkey sanctuary.
What if
Yeah,
Dave?
That's
big time.
okay.
What
Yeah.
if Dave decides to review a tool that was made with donkey labor, and then it becomes a little bit hairier as those conflicts of interest erupt?
I am genuinely shocked that donkey sanctuaries exist. I just don't really understand what the purpose is.
Save it for the off season. We'll get to the bottom of
Save
it.
it for the offseason. All right, well, okay, we've now waffled for a bit here. Johnny, I like your idea. Let's take all the things that we're going to be, we call it the C block. It's the third part of the show. We've got Brady Gilmore, who was our puncher from the previous show, has now won 2 stages. We've got a Jens vote update. And we have do we have an off-season game? Or is that old?
We do, and actually, what might be fun is if we have some listener interaction. They actually send them in.
Okay.
I think that might be a better way of doing it. But yeah, we'll chat
So
about it.
we'll explain that in After Dark. Let's head into After Dark now. Of course, as I say, every week, twice a week, actually. After Dark is the extended version of this very podcast. It's not a different show. It's not even a different episode. It's just if you're on the member feed, the podcast just keeps going. You get
It's
like an extra
more.
15 minutes, 20 minutes, It's just more of what you love. And you should sign up. You should go to escapecollective.com/join and sign up and get it. Because members
There's a deal
support
on.
everything that we do here.
Is there a deal on at the minute or not?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Not one that I'm confident of saying on air.
Excellent.
Andy's always doing things in the background that I don't know what he's up to, but
Okay.
no, not at the moment. You should just go sign up because it's the right thing to do, and
Yes.
because it's supporting independent media, and because you get lots of good stuff for it. You get access to all of our paywalled content on the site. You get access to After Dark. You get access to Performance Process. You get access to the member purchase program and the special member only pricing on that. There's a whole bunch of new brands in the member purchase program. Would you like me to list off some of the special member pricing that you can get?
Please.
You can get special member pricing from POC, from Velocio, from Silca, which is your pumps. If you're an American, some of these only work in the U.S., unfortunately, you can get a great price on anything from Ritchie, 30% off on WTB. And I've just been testing one of their cross-country tires, and I really, really, really like it. You go check out what they've got. One of my favorite new brands on the member purchase program is Rex, which some of you may have heard of, some of you maybe not. They make kind of lubes and stuff in the cycling space. They also make ski wax, which is kind of the thing. I know them from Nordic ski wax. They make really, really good, fast Nordic ski wax products. And so if you're a Nordork like myself, you can go get some Rex stuff. Rolf Prima, Pactimo, Pedla, or not. Mavic is on there. Map is on there. Fork Mods is on there. Hammerhead is on there. Hunt is on there. Chapter 2 is on there. Oh my goodness. The list is honestly, it's just too long to read.
If you're buying those wheels, you're paying for your membership.
This is now like a 5-minute ad, and I apologize. But you really should sign up. EscapeCollective.com/join. All of this that I've just said, Will's going to cut it out of the member version. They don't have to listen to any of it because they're already members. All right, let's head into After Dark. We got plenty to talk about. If you are not a member, we will see you next Monday. If you are a member, stick around. We're going into the trust tree, into international waters. We're going to tell you what we really think. We'll see you in a second.